Hello, everyone. Welcome to our series on self-marriage. I'm here today with Alex Christopher Christiansen, who is coming to us from Sweden. And he is originally from Iceland, but he spent the last 30 years going back and forth between Iceland and Varberg, Sweden. And he married himself in an intimate ceremony at home on May 28th, 2020. So, Alex Christopher, what inspired you to marry yourself?
Wow, that's yeah, it's a long story. But basically it was I was so fed up by, getting hurt, being rejected, broken heart, and endless, like a long string of bad relationships.
Mm.
So I was like, it's time to take care of myself instead of somebody else that didn't want me, basically.
Mm.
So.
And had you heard of it before, or is it something that came to you?
Well, I think it was the summer of 2019.
Mm.
Or maybe it was earlier, but somehow, somewhere I came across sologamy and it caught my attention. But I was like, didn't really know what it was. But late 2019, I started to give it a real thought after the last time I got my heart broken. So I was like, maybe this could be something for me.
Yeah, and for
But
those who don't know, what is sologamy?
for me personally, it is you marry yourself, you promise to like focus on yourself, uh, to love yourself the way you always loved others, but maybe they didn't deserve it. Now it's my time to turn the love towards me, to take care
Mhm.
of me first and foremost, to build myself up so I can then perhaps give somebody else my love eventually.
Got it. So it is really a commitment to love yourself with the same care and attention that perhaps you've only given to others. And with the belief that if you find someone else, great. And if not, you're still going to cherish yourself in a very intentional way.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful. And I love the story of how you proposed. Will you share it with our listeners?
Well, the first time around, last year, 2020, I never came to proposing to myself because I was like, I didn't really know how to do it,
Mhm.
the self-marriage ceremony. So it's like, oh yeah, just let's do it. And so I actually bought myself a ring, and then I was like thinking, how should I do it? And I never came to it. So I got first just to marry myself at home, just by myself. And then this year, before I renew my vows, I thought I need to do this properly. So I just made it a little cozy evening here at home and cooked myself a nice dinner and something good to drink, and I turned on some lights and candlelights and made it very romantic,
Mm.
like I was going to propose to somebody else. But yeah, I just did it the right way, according to me. Just
Yes.
yeah,
And that's the only quote unquote right way for each person is what they truly want. And it sounds like for you, you wanted something intimate, romantic, and I can just picture you in this beautiful, warm space. Like, wow, what a gift to give to yourself.
yeah. And actually, I also went down on my knee in front of the
Oh,
mirror with my ring. I bought a new ring, also a nice rose gold ring
oh,
that I always wanted. So yeah, I did it with a ring and everything.
that is
Yeah.
amazing. You had an intimate ceremony. So the first time you, for those of you who are listening, Alex Christopher did a wonderful thing where he first married himself in a small intimate ceremony in 2020 and then married himself again, which I think is brilliant because who doesn't need a reminder of self-love? So this first time in 2020, you had a very intimate ceremony with just yourself and one witness via Zoom. Was that an intentional choice, Alex Christopher, or was it due to the pandemic?
Well, the first time around, I was just by myself. It was when I did the renewal of my vows. I had a witness, actually, what do you call it? Someone who conducted the ceremony for me,
Yeah,
like
yeah, an officiant.
a celebrant. Yeah,
Celebrant, yes.
that I actually found via Instagram. I was following her. She lives in Australia, and yeah, I just contacted her and
Mm.
asked if she could, you know, conduct the ceremony for me. And she said yes. So, but this time around, well, the first time I didn't know really what I wanted to do. So I didn't invite nobody. I just did it privately. And then I told some people. And this year I actually wanted a real, like a real wedding. But due to the pandemic and, you know, some people not really being on board with this, it just was me and her basically. But
Yeah.
I recorded it so I could share it with my friends and family afterwards. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, that's so clever. So even though some people couldn't be there, you got to share it. And did you do that because they couldn't come or because you wanted to really have it the experience alone and then share it with them? Like what was the purpose in recording it?
Yeah, that was just so I could share it because I wanted people to be, of course, here. But you know, due to they live in Iceland, most of my friends and family, and then
Mm-hmm.
some are here, and people here that didn't really want to come. There was like a lot of like, no, thank you, but I won't be able to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, it was just me and a couple of friends that was gonna have a beach wedding,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't want to really, they were not really, how do you say, didn't want to get involved too much, just want to
Mm-hmm.
be spectators, but not help me with it. So I
Uh-huh.
just felt like, okay, why bother? I'm just going to do it myself anyway. But I didn't plan like that day. I was just going to celebrate my anniversary by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought, why not? Why not make the renewal of the vows? And I contacted this person the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and I just said, well, we can do it whenever, you know, it doesn't have to be right now. And she said, why not? Let's make it happen. So in a couple
Mm-hmm.
of hours in the morning, I just made everything happen. And yeah, before I knew it, I was standing here on my balcony in the sunshine and in the sunlight, and I was getting married again.
Wow. Oh, I love that.
I eloped, I call it elopement.
The spontaneous elopement of self.
Yeah, yeah. And it was great. It was fantastic. And people were very happy for me. Yeah, when I shared it with them afterwards. So that was great.
Did you have vows at either of the weddings? And if so, would you share them with us?
Yes, I did. I actually kind of refreshened my old vows
Hmm.
that I made last year. And so, do you want the whole thing or just a
Yes, I
little?
absolutely want the whole thing.
It's not long, but basically, like the one I spoke, there was a lot of pre-words and stuff. But it's basically like, my dearest Alice Christopher. From this day on and forever, I promise to continue to put myself and my well-being first. I promise to give myself the unconditional love that I've been looking for all my life, and to treat myself with all the respect and care I deserve. To be my own best friend and life partner, for better and for worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health. To love, cherish, and honor myself and my life that I've been blessed with. I promise to keep building myself up, to keep making better choices in life, and to believe in myself and all that I'm capable of. I promise to become the best version I can be, so I can wholeheartedly be there for myself and for those I love and care for in good times and bad. I want to open my arms and my heart and welcome the healing future, a future filled with self-love, self-care, and self-respect, honesty, acceptance, and forgiveness. And with this ring I may wed, and forever and all eternity, it will be my reminder of these promises and this day.
Wow. How long did it take you to draft those vows?
Well, I did it first time last year, and then I just changed it a little bit. Yeah, so I've been basically working on it for a year to make it properly. Yeah.
And is there a part of those vows that speaks to you the most right now in this moment?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm keeping, I'm continuing to build myself up and make better choices in life. Always like, if I come off course, I always direct myself either by myself or with the help of my friends, reminding me why I'm doing this, where I want to go. So, yeah.
Nice. And people didn't respond to your self marriage positively at first. Why was that?
I just think it's, not ignorance, but, people don't understand because where I come from, self-love, talking about that you love yourself,
Hmm.
it's a kind of a taboo. It's like, no, that's your ego is, it's your ego speaking, or you're narcissistic. It was like these kind of response I got.
Hmm.
Some actually surprised me by telling me, oh, I've been through a Swagami wedding before. I was like, okay. So some were really positive that I didn't expect. And those I expect to be positive, they reacted negatively.
Hmm.
So it was mixed bag of response from my friends, yeah, and family. But my mom, she actually said, "That's fantastic. Maybe I should do it myself." She
Oh.
was really on board with it the day one. So yeah, that was great.
So the reason that people were not supportive was because it was taboo, and it sounds like in Icelandic culture, the culture of the city where you come from, maybe it really wasn't understood. Is that correct?
Yeah, both countries. I mean, I told both Icelandic friends and family and friends here, and it was really mixed. Some
Mm,
were on board with it. Some were like calling me narcissist, and I actually broke up with a friend because of it.
wow.
But we are good friends today, and she is supporting me wholeheartedly. So it has changed since then, thankfully.
What what shifted? Did she understand the meaning behind it, or how did you reconcile?
Yeah, I mean, I just, I think I managed to make her help her to understand why I was doing this and
Mm,
what it meant for me, like building myself up, forgiving myself for my past mistake, forgiving others for hurting me, and so on. So I think she understood why I was doing it and the meaning behind it. It was not narcissistic at all. It was
mm.
about self-care,
Yeah.
learning to love myself. So I think that explaining helped a lot. It did.
It can be so easy, right, to to not explain, to not take the time to explain. But I find, as it sounds like you did, that when people really care about us and we do explain, they typically get on board because what's not to appreciate about self-care and caring for yourself in a way that makes you even more ready to care for others? But it really, I think, is an act of humility to say, let me explain this. If you're open to it, let me explain it to you. And it's also an act of care on the other person's part to listen. So I think it's wonderful that you guys were able to reconcile.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of my oldest friends, and I was so heartbroken, and she was heartbroken
Mm,
when we came to that point. But thankfully, we managed to repair it,
mm.
and we are closer than ever today. So yeah, I went lengths, to explain, to help people understand. I did everything I could to help people understand,
Like
and
what?
yeah, just telling them, why I was doing it and what it meant for me. And I have a long history of broken heart and sadness, and it, both in my family and partners and things. And yeah, I mean, people just, I think they're understanding why I'm doing this. I think they're getting, they're accepting more. They see what it's
Yeah.
doing for me. So yeah, I think if you take your time and you help people understand, I think yeah, it will work out. I think so.
Yeah, they come to get the meaning of it over time.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. And the second time you married yourself, people were more receptive. Is that because you'd taken the time to explain it, or what shifted?
Yeah, they've seen me grow as a person. They
Hmm.
see that it was just not an idea I got. It was like something I took very seriously. I
Hmm.
even changed my status on Facebook to married.
Wow.
Yeah, I did the whole thing, and I was like, yeah, I was committing to this, and I am committing to this.
Yeah.
And I think people started to realize that, and no, not everybody knew and or got it the first time around, but the second time around, I was more open about it. I was posting about it, and people were sending
Hmm.
me, "Wow, that's great!" And some were really surprised but happy for me. And yeah, it was more, more people involved. So they
Yes.
they saw the progress, the results of what I've been working on.
And
So
what were those results?
I mean, for example, I've been battling with addiction,
Hmm.
well, kind of like alcohol, and I've been really working hard on that to
Hmm.
to get away from that addiction and just build a more healthier life for myself.
Yes.
And they just see me like I'm more calmer as a person, and yeah, I have changed. I have matured. I have grown so much since I took this first step last year.
Yeah.
So I think
Beautiful.
this just see the person I am today. Some are not really quite there yet because they don't see me so often, but I'm persistent. I'm stubborn. I'm gonna make them understand now.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not giving up. Yeah, this is serious. This is serious business for me. So yeah.
I love that. So you have told me that you may propose to yourself again because, I get it that the first time it was intimate, it was small, partly because that's what you wanted, and also partly because we were in the middle of a global pandemic. So
Yeah.
how might you do it this time?
Yeah, that was the thing I was actually thinking about today because I'm a very romantic person,
Mhm.
and I always dreamt of a wedding in Italy, in Positano, Amalfi Coast,
Mm,
or something really beautiful. And I was just thinking, why not go there next year, like next spring, around this, maybe my second anniversary, and just do it all over again in the beautiful surroundings, maybe a nice restaurant. Yeah,
yes.
follow my old dream, and instead of waiting for somebody to bring there or somebody to bring me there, I'm just going to do it by myself. I'm enough, just going to
Yeah.
enjoy it without all the drama. So yeah, yeah, just me. I make all the choices. Fantastic.
Oh,
So
so
yeah.
good. So good. Yes, no one else to please or take care of. It's just that you get to create a beautiful experience.
Exactly, exactly. That's my wish, at least. So yeah, I think it's going to be there, probably.
Yeah. I can't wait to
Yeah,
see photos.
yeah, that will be. I
Yeah.
promise.
And what have you learned about yourself through self-marriage?
That I am enough. I don't need nobody to make me happy. The key to my happiness is very cliche to say this, but it's always been my own pocket. I
Mm,
try to, force everybody else to like live through them to make me happy. And I
mm,
was living like that for a while, always depending on somebody else.
yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't need that. And I think maybe it's a benefit of getting older, but yeah, I'm enough. I can do things on my own. I'm strong
Yeah.
enough, and I'm worth all the love, in the world. And
Mm,
I'm giving myself a lot of love, and I'm taking care of myself in a whole another way that I used to, making
mm,
sure, like, feeling safe and cared for. And I have a great bunch of good friends. I mean, they're not many, but they are my family, and I can share my love with them, on a friendly level. So, and they give me love back, and that's enough.
What's your favorite way to care for yourself right now?
Like right now, I'm like recovering still from my burnout that happened in 2019, and right now I'm allowing myself to just be. I don't have to hurry anything. I don't have to force anything. Everything will come to me in the right time,
Mm,
in the right moment. So I'm just allowing myself to lean back and take care of myself. Just feel good, eat well, and exercise maybe when I have the energy, and just do whatever I want to do each day. No forcing anything. So I think that's my self care at the moment.
yes. Well, finally, what do you want people to know about self-marriage as a ritual?
I mean, I think it's necessary for everybody to do this because I mean, if you cannot love yourself or accept, like, learn to love yourself, or at least start the process of learning to love yourself, how are you gonna like love somebody else? I mean, if you have nothing to give, or you have a bad self-esteem, or you're feeling just bad as a person, I think you need to start with you. If you want some change, you have to change with start with yourself. You cannot expect everybody else to change first. If you want some change, you have to start with yourself. So I think it's just a good experience. I mean, it doesn't matter how you do it, a little ceremony, a full-blown wedding ceremony, just do you and do it for you, to build yourself up. And then you can, give better to others, I think. So everybody should try it, definitely, in
And
any shape or form. Yeah.
and what would you tell someone who maybe feels the pull, they feel inspired to do it, but they feel nervous or scared? What would you tell them?
I mean, like I did, I just did it for myself the first time around. No witnesses, no nobody.
Mhm.
And just maybe start like that. And maybe the year after, they feel like doing it bigger, like I did. I felt more confidence. I grew as a person through
Mm.
that first year. And yeah, and now I'm so proud of I've done it. And I'm proud of who I am. I'm a proud Sologamist. I
I
am.
love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Alex Christopher, for sharing your story and this inspiration. I know that people listening in will find inspiration in it and maybe even choose to marry themselves if that's right for them.
Yeah, thank you. It's been an honor, and I'm so happy to be able to hopefully inspire others. That would
Yeah.
be great. Yeah.